What's going on, my Creator Factor fam? I am your host who loves you the most, Ozeal, and we're back with another solo episode. Hope you're having a great week so far. And, before we begin with the content, I got to share something with you. A few things, some housekeeping. First and foremost, if this is your first time tuning in to the Creator Factor podcast, if you're watching us on YouTube or you're listening to this voice on your favorite podcast app or on creatorfactor.net, I want to welcome you to the show. This is a show where we help elevate your creator factor through community, through collaboration, and conversations that I have with other amazing guests that I had on the show. Go check them out in the previous episodes. They're all amazing. And of course, we'll rock some solo shows like we're doing today. Just trying something different, switching it up with the format, just having fun and sharing with you in a different way, and kind of sharing more about what I think about the creator economy, some of the things that are happening in the podcasting space, and it's just constantly moving and just growing this industry that we're in. Really, really excited to share with you. And also, I want to give a huge shout out to the audio producer of this show, Josh Grace. Shout out to Josh of JL Grace Media, jlgracemedia.com, who produces the amazing audio side of the show. Make sure, I got to say, the audio experience is my favorite. I'm going to put it out there, YouTube. Check this out. I'm going to be real with you, okay? I'm going to be real with my YouTube audience right now. Video podcasting is a thing. I'm putting this on video because I love creating video content. I really do. I'm trying to get better at it. And this is just a way for me to put it on video, put it on audio. So it's getting there. The value production is not where I would want it to be. So hopefully you're getting some kind of value, but from the video side. But if you want to just listen to the audio, just listen to this voice. This is what they call the Barry White voice of Ozeal. If you want to go listen to the audio experience, head over and make sure you subscribe on your favorite podcast app, Apple, Spotify, Pocket Cast, Overcast, all the podcast apps. So go check it out. And all of those episodes are by my boy, Josh of JL Grace Media. So shout out to them. And let's dig into something. I want to share something, with you regarding my boy Josh, who's the audio producer. And this is going to be piggybacking on last week's episode. One of the things that the topic that we talked about was about personal branding. And, when I listen to myself and I watch even myself on video, and you as a content creator could probably relate to this, I'm sure you can relate to this, is, part of building a personal brand. And I talked about being authentic, right? But even that could be a challenge. Like I went back and listened to the episode and went back on watching it on video. And Josh, actually, my producer, he, highlighted, said, hey man, we want the energy. We want the Ozeal that gets, host that loves you the most. We want that vibe. We want that energy, the thing that makes you you. The irony is that it was an episode on personal branding. And I'm like, I don't think I was that personal on that episode because I felt like it was, something that had to like dial back a little bit. So again, just to let you know that I'm also, as a content creator, getting more comfortable with just being a creator and being myself on camera behind the microphone. So again, this is part of the show, is just documenting my journey, letting you know that I'm still growing. I don't have all the answers. And if you find a creator that tells you they have all the answers, they're lying to you, because we're all on this journey together. There's always room to improve. And that's the difference between the professional creator and the ones that are just doing it, halfway, 50%, they just think that they know it all and they want to give you all this expert advice, but they haven't done it themselves. We're doing things differently here at Creator Factor because I acknowledge that we're going to continue growing on the show, both on video and audio, and even just the performance aspect of it. So again, I just want to share that with you because I want the show to be really real and candid. Like I want it to be real. And I want to, part of this solo shows is to share with you the experience and some of the things that I'm learning as I'm putting out the content out there for you. So I digress. Let me get back to the show. And this is all part of the show. This is all part of the show, Ozeal. We're not going to, I was trying to get into it, but we're going to talk about the topic. Of course, we're going to give you the value, what you clicked on, the title on YouTube or on your favorite podcast app. We're going to talk about that right now. What is the ROI in starting a podcast? The return on investment. If I spend money on all the equipment, if I spend money on getting a podcast coach or consultant, if I spend money on all this thing, the camera and everything, the mic, what's the return on investment? How can I make my money back? It's a question that I often get all the time. And it's always the pushback, especially when I'm working with more branded podcasts, more corporate, B2B type of businesses, there's always like, how can I get my money back? And it's justified. I get it. You want to make your money. You want to make sure that what you do, your heart and soul and your energy into this thing is going to pay dividends, and it's going to be worth your time. And I'll speak on that a bit, but let me talk about the ROI, because there's a lot of things that I'm seeing benefits on when it comes to like the show. And I will share this. When I get pushback on it, podcasting, I will say, is number one, and this is number one, by the way, is it's low entry level to get in. You don't have to spend a ton of money, ladies and gentlemen, to start a podcast. You don't. Unlike a lot of even B2B SaaS companies, a lot of big companies, even creators who want to do the video podcast thing, there's investment there. There's definitely there's camera gear, there's lighting, there's microphones, there's the aesthetic side of things, there's software, hardware. So it could get pretty pricey when you do video. Now, if you want to talk about just audio podcasts, which I feel like that's the blue ocean right now, I feel like there's an opportunity there to really dominate that lane and to go audio only. And it doesn't break the bank to start a podcast. You can start a podcast for, less than $150. I think that it doesn't take you much for you to just invest in the equipment, invest in the podcast and do the thing. It really doesn't. It doesn't. So I want to share that it's low entry level, and I do feel like it's high impact. And what I mean by that is that this can now be, top of funnel marketing. This could be part of your flywheel. This audio content could be repurposed into newsletters, into audiograms, into other marketing assets that you can use to market your brand and or business. So you don't need a lot. And I think that's the big ROI is I do believe that, again, it's low entry level expense, and you could do a lot with this podcast thing. Okay. So that's number one. That is definitely the return on investment. Get your marketing game on for a minimal cost, right? Number two is this is a great way to network. I always say that podcasting is the best business handshake. It's an opportunity for you to get connected with your people, be able to invite other maybe prospects or potential partners or someone who you really want to connect with and invite them on the show. I rarely get a no, because people want to get on the podcast, especially long form podcasts, to be able to share their story, to be able to share what they do as a business owner, to be able to share whatever they do as a creator. It doesn't have to be business, but people want to be on a show, and they use that to be repurposed for their social media marketing and just for their brand visibility. So there is a lot of ROI in that. You're building it's the fastest way to build relationships, period. I say that all the time. Sure, you can go to networking events, but that's you gotta look good, you gotta dress, you gotta get business cards, you gotta head out there. Some people can't even get out to networking events, to meet and get connected. Why not start a podcast? Is my question. Low entry level, right? And now you can actually build and connect with the right people, the people that you want to get connected with. ROI, that's a return on investment. All right. Number three, let's get right to it, it'll teach you how to become a better communicator. I shared this in the last event that I was hosting, and I was a panelist. One of the biggest underlying benefits as a podcaster and anybody who's looking to start a podcast, the ROI, is you become a better communicator, which results in becoming a better leader in your business space. And it just builds that brand authority that we all talk about, you probably heard of. And part of building that brand authority, that brand loyalty between you and your listener, you and your prospects, is just becoming better at doing this, becoming better at communicating your message. And I want to be honest with you, it's one of the things that I saw right out the gate that I really appreciated. I am an introvert, extrovert. I can turn it on, I can turn it off. I could be Mr. Friendly, but I can also be a super, super introverted, shy kid. What do I say, kid? I could turn into a little shy kid back in the days. I was a shy kid growing up. And, podcasting does allow you to just become better, more confident, a better communicator. And I do believe that when I get paid. We're going to keep this. I'm going to do this like we're doing a live stream, by the way. Sometimes I do get paid, actually. When I do public speaking engagements, or I'm a panelist, or I'm on other people's shows, I do feel like I'm confident in articulating and speaking about thing that I know which is podcasting and marketing, community building, because I put in the reps. I've done this many, many, many times, even before Creator Factor. So that is the thing that it's a huge, overlooked benefit. Return on investment is it does make you a better communicator. So when I get pushback on B2B companies and people that want to host a show, I'm like, look, you're going to become, not only are you going to build, it's low entry level, right? Not only are you going to meet and connect people with at ease to expedite the networking process, but you're also going to become a better communicator. And somebody, well, we already know how to communicate. Really? Because I don't see your personal brand anywhere. Like, I really don't see you talking about what you guys do as a brand. So what are we doing here? All right. So let's kind of talk about that. Let's highlight the benefit, the ROI in just developing communication skills, leadership skills. All right. And then are we on is that number 4? Okay, number 4. Okay. And then the last one, number 5. I'm telling you, we're going to treat this like live stream. Gosh, if you're listening to, which you are going to be listening to this, I'm going raw, like candid. Yes, I am not going to polish this up. I'm going to just go ahead and keep it real. So yeah, let's get back to it. Number 5. Number 5. Just like, oh, Lord. Here, this is the real Ozil. This is the real Ozil right here. All right. So number 5 is become the media. Become the media. That's the return on investment. This is an opportunity to become the media. Become the voice of your business. And I'm not talking about social media, because social media is still a lot of marketing. It's a lot of push. It's a lot about look at me, check what we're doing. A podcast gives you an opportunity to become your own media company, to become your own voice, to establish your story brand, to share that with the world. That's essentially what I'm doing here with Creator Factor. I've interviewed a lot of amazing guests, but I'm taking this opportunity with these solo shows, not because I can't get guests, but simply because I wanted to take the opportunity for us to get to know each other, for you and I, watching or listening. We're just vibing right now. I want you to get to know the energetic, quirky Ozil, the hip-hop version Ozil. I want you to get to know the guy who has his own set of rules and ideas and philosophies when it comes to content marketing and building community. That is me. This is my opportunity, and you can make it an opportunity as well for you to start building that bridge between you and your audience, your community. Let me drop that. Let me pick up the mic. It may be the coffee, y'all. It's the coffee. It's the coffee. That's what we're doing here. That is what we're doing here on the show. Let me go ahead and do a recap. What's the ROI in starting a podcast? When you are thinking about this and you're thinking twice about this, you're like, I don't know. Podcasting may be a little bit too much for me. Should I do it? What's the return on investment? Here's the thing when it comes to return investment. Is anything that we do in business or in marketing or as a creator, is it anything guaranteed? Like whenever you start a YouTube channel or a blog post or you're on social media or you start a podcast, do you have like with certitude, do you know what's about to happen? When was the last time whenever you launched something, or have you ever launched something that just fell flat? I'm raising my hand here if you can catch me on the visuals. That me, many times, right? It's like sometimes it just doesn't work. It doesn't. It's kind of like going to the gym, right? So the return on investment is there if you follow and you put in consistent work. If you go in there with the mindset of this is going to grow, it's going to take me some time, but it's going to grow. That return investment is going to come back to you when you stay true to your word and you do the work. When you know what your goals are, your why, when you understand what you're doing, when you have an understanding of the framework that you're going to follow for you to get to that result, like that is a different mindset shift. But if you're an individual who says, well, should I work out? Should I? Do you ever question that? Like, do you ever, probably so. I mean, I'm pretty sure, should I work out today? Not feeling it. But you know what I mean? If you're not going into the mindset of like, I'm going because this is where I want to go. I want to go here. You have to make that decision to commit to be able to get there. And that there is ground zero. It's point A. It's you getting there and saying, I'm going to commit to this. The return on investment is the fact that I'm going to learn new skills. It's not going to break the bank. I'm going to connect with new people. I'm going to build a network. I'm going to become a better communicator. I'm going to become the media and share my story brand. I'm going to do something different. Isn't that worth the investment? Isn't it? Like, I don't understand sometimes when people always say, what's the return on investment? I need to make sure that there's a money tied to that. But whenever you advertise on billboards, do you know where the money's going to come? Do you know if there's money going to be tied back to the thing that you're trying to sell and promote? Do you? Now, as marketers, we track all that, but that doesn't mean that it's going to convert into dollar signs. Same thing for creators. When we do things, it's because we see the fact that there's an opportunity for us to really do things different and to make a positive impact on our community. That is what showing up looks like, and that's what professionals do. The amateurs question the ROI. The professionals just do the work. I'm going to leave it at that. Creatorfactor.net. Subscribe to the tribe to enjoy the vibe. Shout out to you for watching and listening. I appreciate you. I'm excited about where we're going. I'm very, very passionate about the Creator Factor community. Speaking of community, if you have not joined, head over to creatorfactor.net. I have a free PDF guide you can download, and it's 13 questions that every creative entrepreneur should ask themselves before getting into a creative career. And download it, join the community. You'll get an email when we release a new episode. And I'm really excited. I'm really, really, really passionate and excited about our creator community and what we're doing here. Okay, this is our dent in the world, and I'm excited to be a part of it. So thank you so much for checking it out, and I'll see you next time. Peace and one love, y'all.